In management matters, the outlook for federal employees in 2016. There is reason for optimism after years of lean budgets, stagnant wages, and the constant threat of a government shutdown. Last month, Congress passed the omnibus, a spending bill that funds the government through 2016. It also gave federal workers a modest raise. So, are happy days here again? For answers, I'm joined by Joe Davidson, Federal Diary columnist at the Washington Post. Joe, good to see you.
How are you?
I'm great. So after years of declining scores, are federal employees great? Their satisfaction's on the rise. Agencies have funding. Most federal workers will have more money in their pocket. What is not to like?
Well, I don't think they're quite singing happy days are here again just yet. But certainly they're in a better position today than they were, say, a few years ago, when there were 3 years in a row of a freeze on their basic pay rates. This year they are getting a modest raise, 1.3%. There was no attack or a hit on their pensions, as many had feared in the omnibus bill that you mentioned. And so it's true that there is reason for optimism. There's reason to be at least a little bit more satisfied now than in the recent past.
Can I ask, funding only through 2016, is that not frustrating for federal workers? Can't they get a longer span of time to count on?
Well, you know, the way this Congress works, funding through 2016 is probably pretty good, because so often Congress will fund the government for just a short period of time, maybe 3 months at a time or even less, under what is known as continuing resolutions, as opposed to a full year budget. So the fact that this is going through this entire year, I think, marks some progress, certainly for this Congress.
Now, you've been paying close attention to congressional efforts to change due process for federal workers.
Right.
This is an issue to watch in 2016. Bring us up to date on that one.
Well, the due process issue is really a bubbling one. It began perhaps, or at least was really invigorated with the decision by Congress, which passed a law signed by President Obama in 2014, which really undercut due process rights for civil servants in the Veterans Administration. That was a reaction to the VA scandal, which we've heard so much about. So once that bill passed for Veterans Administration employees, for senior executives in the Veterans Administration, I should say, there has been talk since then to extend that to other agencies or perhaps across the government. That, I think, will be a very big battle if it happens. While Democrats voted for that measure, many of them, I think there's going to be a reluctance. In fact, I'm sure there will be a reluctance to vote for any bill that would attempt to extend that kind of diminution of due process rights across the board in the federal government.
So what role does Republican Representative Mark Meadows play in all this?
Well, Mark Meadows is a conservative Republican from North Carolina, and he is chairman of the House subcommittee that oversees the federal workforce. Now, he is a very conservative member of the House. He's one of the originators or founders of the House Freedom Caucus, which helped push former Speaker John Boehner out of office. So he's part of that group that is known as very staunch Republicans, those who not just staunch Republicans or conservatives, but those who have basically say my way or the highway when it comes to certain legislation. Mark Meadows, however, while being very conservative, he also expresses a view that is certainly open to hearing the views of federal employees. He visited 6 agencies last year. He plans to visit 12 agencies this year and talk with federal employees. And he said he has been changed by those visits, changed in a way that he appears at least to be open to hearing the concerns of the federal workforce.
Putting faces on the federal workers.
Exactly.
All right. Joe, it's election season. Traditionally, Congress doesn't accomplish that much during the final year of a 2-term administration. That said, do you see any areas ripe for compromise, or will we see the president circumvent Congress yet again?
Well, I think when it comes to the federal workforce, there are some areas of compromise, not in every area. For example, Congressman Jerry Connolly, who was the top Democrat on the subcommittee serving with Mark Meadows, would like to see a raise 3 times as great as the one that federal employees are getting this year. I don't think the Republicans are going to go for that. But in the area of cybersecurity, as you know, the federal government employees, contractors, and many more, some 20 million people, have been hit by a cyber theft of their personal information. I think there is agreement on Capitol Hill to do what needs to be done to tighten up cybersecurity, not just for federal employees, but across the board. So that is one area of compromise. So there will be attempts to reach compromise. Just how far that goes remains to be seen.
Who wouldn't want a raise 3 times what's proposed every year? I'll put my hand up for that. Joe Davidson, Federal Diary columnist of the Washington Post, thanks so much.
Thank you.